Hello, I'm Valentin Mandace from Historic Houses Romania, Casa de Epocă, and I'd like to discuss about common points, convergences, architectural convergences between the two quite remote corners of Europe from each other, the southwest of Europe, Spain or Portugal, and the southeast, the Balkans. I am at Colța Church, a Brancovan style monument, and its veranda at the entrance, right in the middle of Bucharest. It dates from 1698, the church, and the style, as I mentioned, is Brancovan. It's an improper name because the style is typical of the Principality of Wallachia in the late 17th century, in the 18th century. So it must be called actually Wallachian, or as the local called Wallachia, Montanian. So let's call it Wallachian. A monument in Wallachian style. When I have participants at my architectural tours in Bucharest, and seeing this kind of buildings and also the new Romanian style buildings, participants coming from Spain or Portugal, they suddenly see these forms, these architectural designs, as being familiar to them, to their eyes. And they say, oh, it's like home in Spain, or like home in Portugal, for example. Which is interesting, and I try to get to the root of this thing. And the most obvious explanation is obviously obvious. Let's put it that way. Their tradition there, their old architecture in Spain and Portugal, is synthesis between their Moorish traditions from the time of the Moorish Caliphate and the Romanesque architecture and Gothic one later on. So that melange, that mix-up, has resulted in specific Iberian, Spanish and Portuguese forms. And over here, in this part of Europe, especially in the Principality of Wallachia, which is an autonomous, self-governing principality of the Ottoman Empire, they did a synthesis between Ottoman forms, which are quite similar with the Moorish ones in certain aspects, of course, and Byzantine forms, which is the local tradition, which again has a lot of commonalities with the Romanesque, with the West. And hence, the forms which appears from the synthesis in the 17th, 18th centuries, they are very similar to each other in Spain, Portugal, and what is now southern Romania, perhaps places in Greece or Bulgaria too. But Romania is the most obvious one. And in Bucharest we have a few monuments like this. Just look as an example. Right behind me is the portal of the Colța Church, an absolutely magnificent portal made from local stone. You can see the oriental elements, that kind of entrance over there with broken arch is three-lobed to show the Holy Trinity. And if you look closer at it, it's looking like a Spanish provincial or Portuguese provincial Baroque. Look at these columns with ornaments on them. Corinthian capital, a saint on top of it. Then we'll go over here, the column has a tree of life over it, some other personages at the base. Also, on the top of the pediment, we have a double-headed eagle, that is the sign of Byzantium, of the Orthodox Church. The inscription, the former inscription was painted, is flanked by two griffins, quite Western elements over there. And also that cartouche is in the manner of the Baroque or even Renaissance. And this is within the Ottoman world, in a Christian princedom, principality within the Ottoman world, which strikes me and the many visitors as being very similar with the ones which we find in Spain or Portugal. So we have this kind of architectural convergence because of this extraordinary background. In Spain and Portugal, the Moorish background, over here, together synthesized with the Romanesque, and over here, Byzantine synthesized with the Ottomans. So I hope you found find interesting this podcast and spread the word about these things. I have a special tour about the Brancovan style, Wallachian one, as I said. Let's call it Wallachian, at least in this podcast. And looking forward to meeting you at the tours, if you are interested, of course. All the best, and we'll see each other at the next podcast. Thank you, and bye-bye.